This is Nick.
This is Vinny.
This is Steve.
And you're listening to the No Sense Podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's the No Sense Podcast, episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
It's
Quattro.
3 was a good episode.
3 was an excellent episode.
Good old mess from the Midwest, Timbo from Keno.
Yeah, ever since we had that, every video on like all of my social media feeds now is just drumming stuff. I'm like, I gotta start playing again.
Yeah, I noticed that too. After we talked about them, and then like I think most of the videos that we've been clicking on our social media stuff, it's it thinks and well, this is what you want to see. So
It's Skynet taking over.
lots of people doing kind of similar stuff, but he's definitely in league of his own.
Yeah. I sat at my drum set for about an hour yesterday and beat them up.
Yeah.
Hit the skins.
Mm.
It was
Is
fun.
You
that what
played
we're calling
beat it in
it
the
these
corner.
days?
Yeah, I beat the skins in the corner. So I guess let's kick off with what you have in mind first.
Well, we're gonna have to delay the gas station stuff.
So asshole.
Somebody forgot their homework.
I did. I grabbed it first, but I wasn't happy with mine, so we decided we were going to redo it, and then I forgot to get one because I'm poopy.
It's okay. Normally I'm the one that's slacking off and not doing it. I actually remember this time. I got a gold star for that.
Sure.
Woo.
And pulled out of his booty hole. Anyways, I just got off a 72-hour fast. That was fucking great.
Was it great?
No.
I'd rather shit in my hands and clap, but
Yeah.
I'm fat.
But hopefully the end result after a certain amount of time. There's a program I'm starting to follow and everything. I mean, it's not just like follow it, like starve yourself and get shredded. It's kind of a little bit more involved in that. But hopefully my stomach and all that kind of stuff can handle like the not eating and then eating something, and then body's just like, oh my god.
When you eat something after
Yeah.
3 days, does it just fucking shoot out of your
So
ass?
no, well, not for me
As
anyways.
long as it's not Taco Bell.
Yeah, if I had Taco Bell for the first meal, probably.
Oh.
But no, my first meal was a bowl of cereal. I put it on my story on Instagram and stuff, and people are just like, that's fucking crazy. Like, I couldn't do 72 hours. But I guess it's all about mindset, and like if you're got a goal, and like I'm one of those people, if I've got a goal, like I'm gotta follow through. So
What do they say? You can survive 40 days without food.
something like that, yeah. But
Yeah, it's like 2 months without food, 2 weeks without water, 2 minutes without air, something like that. Or maybe I have those time frames off, but I know they always say it's like 2, 2, and 2, or whatever it is.
well, one time I masturbated, and I swear to God, it was about 3 minutes. So it's whatever. But no, actually, like a lot of people don't know, like once you don't really like eat, it's not so much about like crapping a bunch and stuff after your first meal and stuff, but it's the roof of my mouth. I'm gonna mention it before, but it gets real sensitive because you're not smashing food in the palate, like the top palate of your roof of your mouth. So that bowl of cereal was like the best cereal I think I've ever had and heard at the same time eating it.
It's like
You
you eat a
should-
bowl of glass shards.
Not that bad, but it was just kind of like, oh, what the hell, my mouth.
You
is,
could
like,
mock
sore.
eat, just chew something up and then spit it out so your palate's ready to go.
Yeah, maybe.
Would you have the willpower though? Like if you haven't eaten in 2 days, and then let's say there was like a big old juicy ass piece of prime rib in front of you,
I'd fucking eat it.
could you put that in your mouth and not swallow it?
No, my instinct is to swallow.
See where this is going. So Steve, it's a good question for you, and we put it in our like outline and stuff. But you a car or motorcycle guy at all?
So I'm not super into cars. I really, really want a bike, and it has been a ongoing battle with my wife ever since we started dating that I really want to get a motorcycle, and she really doesn't want me to. So
I can have him hold her down. Well, you can just go get it. And
well, I keep telling her like, yeah, you're all against it till you see me pull in the driveway and your panties make a crater on the floor. But yeah, no, like
crotch rocket, Harley. What are you thinking?
crotch rocket.
Womp.
Like, yeah, no.
He just lost a little bit of respect.
I know. I'm sorry. I like the sport bikes. I think they look cool.
I do too. I grew up with my dad being a biker and stuff, and I think everybody just thought I was going to join suit and get a Harley. I actually am not a motorcycle guy at all. If I was to get one, and I've mentioned this before, I honestly probably stick with like some like kind of cafe racer kind of bike.
That's better.
Yeah. What, like, you just don't like R1s and stuff, or what?
No.
You don't like Hayabusas? Come on, man.
Like I've had them when I was younger, but I wasn't fat. Nobody wants to see a guy my size on a bike like that.
I mean, that'd be a sight to behold.
Yeah, it's bad enough on my Harley, and that thing's fully fucking dressed, man. It's pretty cool. Maybe we could put a picture of it up sometime.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But yeah, like I've never been super into the car or bike scene. Like obviously I have a car. I've always just been like super economical when it comes to it. Like if it gets me to point A to point B and the gas mileage is good, I'm happy with it. I mean, I did have a dream car back when I was in like high school and college, but now
What is it? What was it?
an Evo, Mitsubishi Evo.
Oh,
but obviously
respectable.
they don't make those anymore. So
Still get them though.
maybe someday. But my brother was a massive gearhead when he was living at home. So I kind of got exposed to the culture a bit just through him, but I was never like a big part of it or anything.
Got my feet in like everything, but I always find myself going back to the imports and stuff. So yeah, I seriously considered an Evo for a little bit there and all that. So
I want a 70 Nova or a GTO or something, you know, like something General Motors, muscle car, and if I got something newer, like I either want a new Raptor truck or or that fucking Toyota Tundra that we looked at.
yeah, and the funny thing is, like, I was just at the dealership with my GR Corolla, getting it serviced and stuff, and dude, their new trucks, like, they drop motors. They've got a newer 4-cylinder turbo that's in the Tacomas. They ditched the older inline 6. And I've been hearing they've been having a little slight issues and stuff with them. It's mainly the transmissions because they had to like keep up with Nissan and everybody else and go from like a 6 or 8 gear transmission that, you know, were dog shit slow, but I mean they lasted forever. They're bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like I started having issues with the new ones.
Even my F-150's got a 10-speed transmission in it.
Yeah, everybody's going to like more gears, and probably there's benefits from all that. I'm sure. I mean, not slower than a Jeep that's got 4 gears, but I think the bigger the Tundra is a V6 twin turbo V6 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder how many horsepower it pushes.
it's a little close to 500 for the V6,
Yeah.
which you would think it would be a little bit more. I mean, they've got to keep up with the Raptors and all those other companies that are making bigger, stronger trucks. You think that they would do that, but they just kind of go, you know, that's not our market. You know, those are the guys that are getting these trucks are barely using them as trucks, but they're using them for off-roading, for like camping and things like that. So it's, you know,
I'm telling you, the dude at that dealership, he knew if I drove that truck, I was going to buy it.
yeah. He was trying to get us to like test drive it, and I was just like, dude, I might not even get this GR Curl and get one of those with you because that truck was fucking killer.
It was really badass.
It was a very nice truck.
I've stayed away from Toyota dealerships since because I don't want to walk in, and I'm an impulse buyer.
Yeah, but I mean, having that exact trim and everything ain't up here.
Yeah,
because somebody wouldn't have already bought it. So
yeah, it was so cool though.
I don't know what was so. I don't know. I go back and forth with like what I would want for like my dream car, and the price range was over under 100 grand. So I think we all hit the mark on all that. So man, I go back and forth with like my Eleanor is an RX-7, like 94, 95. I don't care if it's got the original rotary engine in it or if I LS swapped it. I mean, I know a lot of people just cringe hearing that, but
some of those LS swaps are fucking fast, man.
Yep. And definitely an RX-7. And I for a while there, I really wanted a first gen Raptor, like the 2-door short box version of it, just because it looked like an off-roading like trophy truck.
Yeah.
This is like the closest thing you can get from buying it from the dealership, just driving it off the lot, and being almost a trophy truck. So I know trying to find those in a 6-liter with 6.2 or 6.0 or 6.2. It was
Yeah,
6.2.
I don't know.
That was like those were a little bit more sought out after. I think the first year they had like a 5.8 or something in it. So I'm not sure. I know Steve's like, what the fuck are you talking
I
about?
think you're just going the fuck over my head.
As long as they don't put that goddamn Triton in it.
Hmm.
Those things, those 5.4s.
Well, I seen there was a new truck that they just I saw it online recently that they still make short bed like single cab trucks with the 5-liter like the V8 Mustang engine in it. So I guess you can still buy those from Ford and stuff, but I think the price tag on that was like $66K.
Mine is a 4-door,
Mhm.
like big doors
Mhm.
in a tiny little box. Like you could damn near haul more in a wheelbarrow than you can in the box of my truck.
Yeah, I mean, I it's functional. I mean, I drove that Nissan before I got this Corolla, and I used the shit out of that to like finish our basement with it. So
Yeah. That was a nice little truck, though.
it was fun. Yeah, I drove down to Oklahoma and back. In other words, I've got some other news from like other like car stuff and everything, but Nissan, I guess they the deal with them and Honda, they're supposed to merge and everything that fell through. I guess like Honda wanted to just take over and scrap a bunch of Nissan stuff, and they're just like, dude, this is not what we were in agreement with and stuff. And I think Honda was like, kind of take it or leave it, and they left it. So I guess Nissan's for sale. They canceled all their GTR orders that were on the market, or like people were trying to still get those cars before they stopped, and they're done.
Are you
making
going to
those.
buy them?
No.
No.
I'm not buying a new car until mine dies.
No, I mean by the company.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, 58.
Gonna rename
I
it the
can't remember.
Steve Mobile.
I can't remember how much they're selling it for. I have to look it up, but it was like I think 58 or 58 million or billion, one of the two. But they're kind of going under. So
I don't know what the current bid's at, but I got like $58.
mhm.
$1. Price is Right rules.
Let's see. Then Audi just announced that there's a new R8 that's coming out with a twin turbo V8 that's supposed to hit 1,000 horses.
No way.
Yeah.
Street legal?
Yeah, you can buy it from Audi it's gonna be well over 100K. I mean, the old ones are
$200,000 car.
probably, it's gonna be close to that probably. I mean, that's the supercar. I
It's
mean,
insane. Cars cost as much of a house these days.
Yeah.
Like, that's just insane.
I don't know what you'd need 1,000 horse in the city for, though.
just because you can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Just rip it down, Dodge. See how quickly you can get from one end of town to the other.
See how fast that barrier comes up.
it'll probably be capable of 1,000 horse, but it'll be governed, so you can't go as fast.
I don't know. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of guys out there with like fuck you money that gets one and then throws a bunch of parts and tunes at it that just makes it even faster.
Yeah.
They're not gonna stay stock.
Audis are pretty cool cars, man.
Yeah.
The
I got
R8s or whatever.
I got a buddy that has one that's like a stage 2 that blurred my vision when he launched that damn thing.
Really?
But he just got his BMW back, and I can't remember if it's an M3 or M5 series, but that thing is stage 2. He had like upgraded the turbos and manifold and like this whole kit, and
Does he race it anywhere?
he just got it back. It was at a tune shop for several months. Took me for a drive in it. I'll share a video. But so the feel of this thing from where it was stock to where it is now.
Yeah.
But and it was on old gas that was in the car from when they were tuning it, so it didn't even have like the correct like E85 like fuel and stuff in it, because he's got a flex fuel kit that he can get different. You can add different fuels and get more horsepower numbers from the fuel. The thing's like 800 horses, and it's rear wheel drive, so this thing like would hop, scoot, and just take off. It was just like
Wow.
yeah, twice as fast as my older Nissan, because it was the same kind of like go fast and faster when boost would hit, and it's like a highway like chaser. It's that thing would have a hard time hooking in a drag race, from a dig. It would have to be rolling.
Your Toyota's pretty quick.
for what it is, it's not. I bought it with the intentions of it being kind of quick, but not. It's not a drag car. It's
Right.
like take it to the track and have fun going through corners and stuff with it. Maybe get it sideways, but I didn't want. I get into too much trouble if I had a car with way more horsepower than it has.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
So, I guess, what do you think are they just going to stop making Nissans then?
It'll be a slow burn, I think, if they can't sell the company. That's my thoughts on that. They're already having to get rid of the stuff that isn't. I mean, it's a high seller for them, but I mean, not everybody can afford a GTR. I mean, I think a brake job on that car will cost you $5,000 for just new rotors and new pads and shit.
Jeez.
And I don't know if it's like one of the. I don't know if they're like redoing the calipers with it too. I'm not sure, but it's not cheap.
One of my
So-
favorite cars on the old Gran Turismo 2 was the Skyline.
Which one? What gen? Skyline?
Oh, shit, I don't know. I just know it was a Skyline and it was a lot of fun.
Older, like
Like
70s, 90s. Okay, yeah, because those things have been around since the 70s, and yeah, if I can get my hands on like a Japanese 72 like Skyline or something. I mean, they're slow, but man, they're so cool.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing one of those in person back in like high school before they were legal in the U.S. at a car show, and just thought it was like the coolest shit ever. Because I used to be like super into the Need for Speed games. Like
Mhm.
I never got into Gran Turismo, but I always loved the Need for Speed games. I grew up on that. Those were like the racing games outside of kart racers that I played.
Sure.
So I remember, I think it was like Need for Speed Underground 2. The Skyline was like the top of the line car or whatever. And I got to see one in person, and like I got to sit in it, got a picture, sent it to my brother, and he's like, "You motherfucker."
Yeah. Yeah. And the closest thing to it, but I made it, a Skyline, with that 240 I had. But there was things about it as, I sunk too much money in for way too long, and was just like, I gotta just get out of it. So
Yeah. So we might look a little bit different next week or the week after
Mhm.
as far as filming goes. We're experimenting with a new camera rig, so
We're big into experimentation.
really into experimentation. A lot.
I have too many like bad jokes. I'm not even gonna say them.
So where are we at next?
So kind of it for that. We're gonna start up the Nerd Nook.
The Nerd Nook.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nerd Nook.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I'll be back.
One ring to rule them all.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
So there was a game that you wanted to bring
Oh,
up.
yeah.
It's coming out on Xbox
And PC.
and PC. Okay, so I might have a chance to check it out then. If it's
Yeah.
good, but
It's
you know more
called-
about this. I don't
It's
know.
called South of Midnight, and we can toss the link to the trailer in the description. It looks like stop motion, and it's got some really cool monsters in it and stuff. But it's Cajun kind of Creole kind of lore, and I don't know what it is that struck my interest so bad about it, but I've been waiting for this game to come out. And it finally has a launch date. It's coming out April 8th. And
So what kind of game is it? Like first person shooter, survival? Like
I think more of a survival.
So I guess is it like a third person view of a character, or is it first person?
It looked like third.
Third. Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like the fight style kind of looked similar to the way they camera Dark Souls, I think it was.
Okay.
To me anyway. The game looks really cool, and my wife is so awesome. I went out of town to visit some family, and I called her at night before I went to bed, and she said, "Hey, I got something for you." I'm like, "What's that?" She said, "They put a release date out on your game, so I pre-ordered it for you." So I took that day off of work.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit and play that shit all day. That's all I'm doing.
Hmm.
I hope it doesn't suck.
I don't. It's hard to say. I mean, like from just the videos you showed me and stuff, it looks great. But past that, there hasn't really been a whole lot of information about it.
There has not. They've been pretty hush hush about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll post the trailer. I don't think we can get away with putting the trailer in our video.
Probably not. So yeah, we'll have the link in the description below.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just really excited to play it, and I'll report back for sure.
Yeah. In other news, we've got some information on new Tony Hawk game. 3 and 4 is getting a remake. And
Wow.
I guess I don't remember. 3 was time based still, so you had like 2 minutes per round to like
Isn't
try to
that
get stuff done.
PS3? Wasn't it?
2, I think.
2?
Maybe 2 or 3. No, I think it was 2 when 3 came out.
Oh no, I just remember having it on GameCube.
Yeah, I mean Wolverine, and there was another character that everybody wanted real bad in it. But and then 4, I think, had a little bit more of an open roam kind of feel to the game and stuff. They ditched it. They took out the roaming part of the games, and it's going back to the like 1 and 2. You only get 2 minutes
Yeah.
to like get stuff done, and then you just gotta basically replay the level, which it's fine. I mean, it gives you, there's like I gotta hurry up and get shit done in the game. Sad news though, they took out Bam Margera out of the series.
Oh, they actually took him out.
They took him out. They left CKY music in it, but they took Bam out. So my thoughts on that is like either it's going to be one of those things where if people bitch and complain enough, I think they might put him in as download content. That a transaction,
Yeah.
because everybody's going to microtransactions. So
Yeah, no, those Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, that was my childhood right there. I
Yeah.
remember playing the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and that's what got me interested in skating and
Mhm.
begging my parents for a skateboard for Christmas that year. And oh man, I used to sink so much time into those games. Absolutely loved them.
They're
I was,
fun.
Yeah, I was getting into my tattoo apprenticeship when I think the second one just like was coming out, and I remember playing the demo on that PlayStation like demo thing that you got in a magazine, and
Yeah.
I think we like destroyed one of those discs because it got so hot. We
it
played
had
the
a
fuck out of it.
It had a 1080 snowboarding on it too.
I think so. Yeah.
That was fun too.
Yeah, and that's the only way you can get demos back then. You had to buy a magazine or like go to like Best Buy and get like a demo disc thing that was like $5 or $10 or something, and it came with a bunch of demos and like upcoming games. So-
Sometimes when you bought a new game, it'd come with a demo for other games, right?
Sometimes.
Yep.
Back, yeah, man, that was like what, PlayStation 2, 1, era. There was such a different time for gaming at the time.
I
But-
remember around that same time frame when the Doom movie came out. It was like shortly before Doom 3, and you got the demo in the DVD with you. I played the shit out of that demo too.
I tried to get it on PC, and my PC wasn't strong enough to push that game. And that's kind of when I got out of PCing, because I couldn't, afford to keep up with the shit. So, and there was a massive difference from where it's at now, from when we put my rig together to where it was then. I mean, it was a way different time.
Yeah, your rig now is kind of a beast.
Yeah, ever since we put that liquid cooler in it, I kind of wish it had that extra fan or the video card. That was another thing I was going to bring up today was that AMD put out a 9070 series or something like that, but the price point in it, like Nvidia, where like they're trying to get $1,500 out of their cards, it was like pretty competitive, around like $500-600 depending on how much RAM you're getting, like DR RAM with the card. It's
Nice.
but
So
trying to
that's
get one right now is another story. They're fucking
So
sold
that's
out
always why I've been
everywhere.
an AMD fan, and that's why I got an AMD in my computer too. Just comparable stats for like half the price.
I think video cards started shooting up in price when people started using them to mine Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
And
they'd
were
have
just-
warehouses just full of them.
Mhm.
Yep.
Pretty
just
crazy.
buying them up as soon as they showed up, like triple the price and everything. I remember trying to look into a computer at that point. I'm like, nope, gonna wait until this fades away.
Yeah.
I get it with the computer frustration sometimes is real because I like playing video games, but I play a couple that you can't play on console. Like I play World of Warcraft. I've played it pretty much since it launched, on and off. And other than World of Warcraft, it's like, okay, you can put thousands of dollars into a computer if you're using it for gaming, and then it does what the new consoles do. That and that kind of frustrates me once in a while. But like an idiot, I just keep throwing money at it.
Well, it's like the meme that I always see going around. It's like, oh, my $2,000 PC outperformed your $400 console. Like, well, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the game still plays the same. It just looks prettier.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Well, and it comes back to like so I rebought Skater XL on my computer and was like trying to figure out how to like mod it, to add a little bit crispier graphics or like a stat menu that makes it feel like it's more of a realistic game, because like when you all in do certain tricks in that game, it feels very floaty. So I was trying to take out some of the float and make it seem a little bit more realistic, and I couldn't tell if it was working or not. Some of the stats in the video I was watching, this tutorial on how to do it and everything, the mod browser, the options in it wasn't like opening up. So I was just like, okay, this isn't working. I must have not installed something right. So I just uninstalled everything. I'm gonna have to like start over again. I just basically just reformatted it to the original, how you buy the game from Steam. So
One of the big things that got me into getting back into PC gaming was modding, and then I just haven't actually done any modding whatsoever. Like, it was the big draw to get me back into gaming PCs over consoles after being away from PC for so long, and then I'm just like, yeah, I got this with the intent for downloading mods or making mods, and I just haven't done any of it yet.
I think the big one everyone mods is Skyrim.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, most of the stuff that they just put up on their servers that just work are pretty decent on their own. But I've tried to use a different modding thing, and it didn't work. So
Yeah, I have no idea how that stuff even works other than it goes in and rewrites code.
you gotta dump in like zip files to this Nexus mod stuff. Seems like it's pretty easy, but then when it doesn't work, and you're just kind of like, okay. So now none of this is working very good. So, so Skate 3, we're on this like skateboarding video game thing. If you haven't noticed yet, but Skate 3, or no, it's not even Skate 3, it's Skate 4. I'm not sure if they're just calling it Skate, but it's going to be an open world game. So that is in its beta phase still. They haven't even given a release date. They're thinking somewhere between July and December of this next year. One of the guys I work with and stuff was in the beta, and I got to check it out a few minutes on his like little computer thing with his Xbox controller. It plays pretty cool. It just feels kind of like a Tony Hawk-ish game, it's fun. You don't like fly over buildings and stuff like how Tony Hawk kind of got very unrealistic with some. As the games kind of get progressed, they got like kind of like, okay, there's no way in hell. But I mean, it was just a fun game.
Yeah, Skate was like the one series that I liked it in theory, but I just could not get into actually playing it. Like, I thought the idea of being able to use the joysticks the way that your feet do was a really cool idea, but having actually skated and like knowing what you're supposed to do certain tricks, it didn't match up properly and just felt wrong.
Does it even match if you're like fingerboarding?
I don't know. I didn't try that one.
So if you want something like that, that's very like in depth, that feels like a sim skateboarding game, check out Session.
Okay.
I have that even on my Switch. The graphics are terrible, but the gameplay is really fun.
Which one had the demon wings on the skateboard?
I don't remember that game. I know on the last podcast we talked about it. It looked really cool, and it was just a PC only skating game. But I have no idea. That kind of came and went. I never even saw a review for it.
Wasn't it Demon Skate or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, Session is really really good.
I'll have to check that one out.
You
Then.
can tweak the control style to like if you want to make it play like Skate, or one of those other games, you can get it to get pretty close. But that game matters even if you're approaching a ledge or something and trying to do a board slide or grind or something, and if you don't have the right input on both the thumbsticks being your feet in the right direction and doing it exactly and stuff, like you're gonna eat shit. So it plays very much like a very simulated like skateboarding game. You don't use the joysticks to basically maneuver the character around. You have to use the toggles, so left right is the way it spins and moves. So
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out
it feels like a skateboarding game. So yeah, it doesn't feel like Tony Hawk where you can just like move the thumbstick around. You're just moving the character and doing all the stuff. So when I go back and play those other simplified games, it's harder for me.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it,
Hmm.
but I'll look into it. Probably bring it up next time.
Next time.
So I guess that's it for the Nerd Nook
That is
portion.
it for the Nerd Nook.
And I hope everybody enjoyed it. Now let's talk about a bunch of other no sense type of stuff. What do you got?
Oh man. Let's see. I don't know if it was bullshit, but I thought I might have saw a little teaser for Wolverine Deadpool 3.
3? What?
Something like that. I think it was a meme or something. Yeah, and it was like, wait, they haven't made 2 yet. Like, how did they skip the 3? So
The Last of Us season 2 is about to start on Max.
yeah.
Yep.
I did see that the numbers for the biggest watch trailer of all time was that,
Really?
like,
Yeah.
of all time. Like, I think there's been, I don't remember the exact number, but multiple millions of views. I'm just wanting to see this trailer. It's not even, a full episode or anything.
Did you watch the show, right?
I did watch the first
Did you?
season.
Yeah.
I loved it. I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was
was
good.
great.
I never played the game, so I don't know how it compared, but I really liked it. I liked the fact that even being like a zombie apocalypse situation, it was more so focused on the interactions between the characters, and the zombies were kind of just like,
Secondary.
yeah, they were just an environmental thing more than anything. They weren't the focus of it, and I thought that was actually a pretty refreshing take on the genre.
I really do believe that in a zombie apocalypse, if there was one, you would have to be more worried about other humans than you would actual
100%.
zombies.
I mean, that's why, like, most of the stories, like, it goes, most of the direct evil, like, monster part of it, it gets away from the zombie stuff. It's all about us.
Yeah. Walking Dead's a classic example of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean,
I still gotta
even
give that another shot.
yeah, the older, like, I'm trying to Dawn of the Dead and all that kind of stuff.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, it was it was all about the people, like, and them just trying to survive getting through the night, or out of an area.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think, but I think the apocalypse part of it, though, when you introduce that into a story, you're definitely gonna have some shady human element to
oh,
it.
sure.
And I really think that's how it would be, though. Like, I think you think there's bad people out there now.
Oh, it'd get way shittier and more cutthroat. You probably hear stories about people getting shot for, a can of soda or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't drink pop anymore, so I won't be doing any of that.
He's got his diet, Dr. Pepper.
Don't get a shot.
I will try my best not to.
So 3 things that you'd want to have but not want to be without in a zombie apocalypse besides a gun.
Water purification of some sort.
Like one of the straws.
A straw, or even just like, I've seen these like filter bag things where it's just like this tube with a filter at the bottom, and it basically just works like you fill it up, you hang it up, it lets the sediment fall out, and then there's like a spigot a little bit higher than the bottom with a filter on it to filter out any smaller still suspended particulates in the water. So probably something like that. Something to hunt food with, just like, I know you said not a gun, but like maybe a bow and arrow or something, just to be able to hunt game. And then like a identification guide of edible plants, something like that.
I gotcha.
So you can do that, but you can't have. I'll give you a knife to cut wood to make a bow and arrow.
Okay, I'll take that. I think I can make a bow and arrow, maybe.
All right. So you cannot just go with a bow, like a bow and arrow or whatever, but you can have. I'll give you a knife, just a 1-piece steel weapon that you can use as a tool.
Okay, yeah, I think that would work then. So
That
yeah,
you can make fashion, if you will, an archery weapon out of such.
okay, yeah, that would be doable. Make a bow, make a spear, something like that. But yeah, so basically just clean water and ways to feed myself are like the big things that I would take with
You
me.
get one more though.
Well, no, because I got the water purification, I got the knife to be able to make that, and then that edible plant classification book thing,
All right.
so that I can know what plants I can safely eat without just dying.
So knife book, and then water for purification.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would say, oh man, it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, like instantly you want to go like gun, but you need bullets. So
Also, keep in mind, it's not like a desert island. It's an apocalypse.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to find shit too.
sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess to start out with, I mean, I'd probably pick something out of my arsenal that.
No guns though. That's one
Oh,
of the
okay.
rules.
No gun. Okay.
You can't have any projectile. You can have a knife to make like a bow and arrow out of,
Okay.
and you may find a gun.
Well, you're kind of like pigeonholing me into this. Like I have to pick a knife.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be a knife. It could be really any tool you want, as long as it's like a one-piece tool, like no machine.
Well, I have the SOG like it's kind of like a knife, but it's threaded in the handle, so I could basically attach like a mop handle or something and make it into a spear. So that'd be my first go-to grab. Would be that. Yeah, I would have to say probably some kind of like water, like some kind of container or something to put water in. And then I probably have to say my meds at first because, like I have high blood pressure, so I'd have to at least, go find an array of surplus of that. I mean, that's another thing I don't think a lot of people don't think about is that, like there's a lot of people with health issues out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the herd would get thinned out pretty quick with people with health issues
You
and
should have
problems
picked
and things
a
like that.
generator so you could run your CPAP.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all of that stuff. I mean, like hopefully all this like, mouse stuff that I'm like working on and stuff like corrects it, so.
Yeah. I think I would want an axe. Something that is, if you practice with it, is projectile
Mhm.
because you can throw it, but it also has a little weight to it, so it's going to be good for like cutting thicker things that you're not going to just chop through with a knife. I think that I'm with Steve. I'd want some kind of a water filtration, and I think everything else I would find, except for I'd want really good shoes. Like, you need good shoes. I think that's important. Boots, shoes, whatever.
So it wouldn't be like a 6-month supply of toilet paper, like
No, 'cause
COVID.
you can wipe your ass with shrubbery.
Yeah,
Just
it's
don't
true.
get the poison ivy, man.
Or-
Don't use the poison ivy.
Yeah, or if I'm not necessarily by myself. Maybe we're hanging out and you guys are wearing t-shirts. I can use those.
Like, hey, buddy, let me see that.
Give me that
that
sleeve,
Hanes you
bro.
got there.
That sleeve, bro. I know in school they did this thing, and it was if you got stranded on a desert island, and you could have food, water, or a gun, but only one of those things, which would it be? And everybody picked food, picked water, and I picked the gun.
Let me take everybody else's
Just take
food.
everyone
out.
else's stuff.
That's what she said. She's like, why would you want a gun? You can't eat that. I was like, because if I have a gun, I can have your food and water. Like, and theirs.
Vinny's going the villain route here.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're going to survive, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
One nitpick that I have though about like the zombie apocalypse genre in general is it always pisses me off that any of these post-apocalyptic things, everyone's like hoarding gas. It
Yeah.
only lasts like 2 weeks if you don't have some kind of stabilizer in it.
Plus, here's the thing. You can hoard gas, fine. You can go into I would say like a junkyard. You can find the shit to distill, right? You're going to be able to either have sugar at some point grown and wheat grown or found. So you could distill your own fuel. Like, I don't think it'd be good to keep a stockpile of it for if you have stuff that needs it to run. But let's face it. What are you gonna do with gas if the alternator busts on your car and you can't go get one?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and
I mean, it's just like what was that movie with Woody Harrelson in it?
Zombieland.
Yeah, so it's like that. I mean, they're gonna drive the car around until it either dies or they run it into something, or then they're just gonna grab something else.
But you're not gonna use a car for like local travel and hunting and stuff. You're gonna use a car for an exodus. You're gonna use a car for a long trip that's gonna take you away from that gas supply anyway.
Mm.
You know, and I don't know. I just think that sometimes in movies they get that stuff wrong.
Yep, 100%.
Um,
But I mean, it's a movie, and
The-
it's escape from reality.
the most important is definitely, I think, water. Drinkable water,
Mhm.
potable water. But again, you could find ways to make your own with people use like charcoal and sand to filtrate, and also there's distillation if you find the right stuff, because you can always have fire. I don't know how good I'd be at starting a fire without a lighter though.
It's
I've
hard.
never done it.
I've done it a few times. It's hard. Then again, like I said, I've done it like 2 or 3 times total, so I don't have any practice with it. But the few times I've tried to do it, it was just absolutely miserably hard to try to do.
Do you think of the fire starter song the whole time you're doing it? A fire starter, fire starter.
I have created fire. I like fishing a lot, so I don't know. I eventually want to find stuff to help me do that, because you go fishing and there's a source of protein,
Yep.
and then you build a smokehouse, and now you have a viable way to store this fish if it's not winter time. So, and other meat too. But
Would you guys try to travel outside of here and go to a warmer climate? Things like you would
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't want to be stuck in an apocalypse in the fucking winter.
Yeah.
That would suck ass. I'd rather be stuck in like the deep south heat, which would also suck. But
You can smell everybody coming.
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, how about you?
I don't know. I'd have to really sit there and consider. I've thought about I just go up by the mountains or something that had like a stream, by a stream or something out, by Wyoming or something, that was really beautiful, where the human population already isn't that big. And then I wouldn't have to worry about, the threat of zombies. It would just be people. So, I don't know, fortify something, or find like some fucking random bunker that was abandoned.
There's ways though, like if you found a junkyard that had a bunch of old car batteries, you could build a battery bank, and then you could build a windmill for it and
Mhm.
power it off some like inline car alternators or something like that, and give yourself
Yeah.
electricity.
I'm sure there's ways to also get an abundance of technology, solar panels and other things,
I probably want my handheld game.
You gotta keep yourself entertained somehow.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people would say I want my favorite movie, but man, how fast would you get tired of that?
pretty quick. I mean, there's only so many times you can watch Fight Club or Debbie Does Dallas. I mean,
The Crow. Is Fight Club your favorite movie?
it's one of them. Yeah.
Oh no, on the entertainment side, I'd probably say like just a deck of cards or something. That
Mhm.
way, like you could play solitaire by yourself. You could like play something if you run into someone who's not trying to kill you. Like just something like that, I think would go a long way.
That'd be my hardest thing, is trusting people.
Oh yeah,
How about you?
Yeah.
It would, even people that you know now would be like, bro, I saw you looking at my pork chop one day. Like, you could stab me for that. Like, I don't know. It's just fun to kind of think about that
Oh, yeah.
stuff though, and hope it never happens. Because in reality, I'm a pussy, and I go camping for a night, and I'm ready to be in my bed at home with my shower and toilet and all that other stuff.
well, everyone always talks big shit like, oh yeah, I'd be great in a zombie apocalypse. Let's be honest. If a zombie apocalypse happened, 99% of people would probably be dead within the first week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Huge chunk of people actually.
I think the people that would take the longest are people that are where Nick was talking about, the further
Yep.
out from population. I never understood that in like The Walking Dead either, because if you die, you're a zombie. You don't have to get bit by a zombie. If you do, of course, you will die and become a zombie. But if you die, you come back as a zombie unless you get stabbed in the head.
Mhm.
How? Like, what about the dude that's living all by himself in some homestead up in Alaska somewhere where there's no other people around? Was it that big of an airborne virus, like, that swept over the entire planet? That just doesn't make sense.
I mean, the other thing too is like with my background being in biology and ecology and all that stuff, if we're completely honest, if something resembling a zombie apocalypse happened, it's probably something going to be based off of like rabies or some other virus similar to that. They're still biological entities. They need a fuel source to fuel their biological functions. Everything is going to die out within like a month from starvation.
Sure.
Like, it's not going to be this years, decades long event. It's going to be like 2 months and then it's going to be over max.
Yeah. And then until people start eating each other, and then
Mhm.
you got people living longer because they're eating other people. I really, okay. Do you think you could eat a person to survive? I'll be completely honest. No, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
I don't know if I could either.
I couldn't do like a dog or a cat.
My life's on the line. I don't know.
And it's okay if you would.
I mean, a big part of it would be more so, I don't think I could kill someone to eat them. But if they died and I knew that they weren't diseased and it was literally my only option to stay alive, I think I could get over it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. You never know until you're in that
Yeah.
position, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, like, I hear a lot of people that, I couldn't, if I was on a farm or something, I couldn't kill my own cattle and things like that. Just kind of like, well, I mean, if you got that much cattle, then you don't really get a relationship with them. So
Yeah. That I could, because I've hunted before and
Mhm.
stuff. You know, I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with being able to kill something as long as it's not wasted.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I could not kill or eat a dead person. I could kill a person easier than I could eat a person. Like, if somebody was trying to hurt me or somebody I cared about.
Sure.
But I'm not going to eat them. What I would probably do is like feed them to animals to get bigger so I could eat the animal. But then in essence, you're still eating that person.
Mhm.
The
I mean,
circle
if
of
you
life.
look at it that way, then I mean, you're always eating people because people die, they'll decompose, they'll be ingested by plants to grow, then something's going to eat the plant, then you're going to eat whatever eats the plant.
It's the circle of life, Simba.
Exactly.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom. He's dead now, right?
James Earl Jones?
James Earl
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah, that's crazy. He's a big part of my childhood.
Lots of
Lion
people's.
King and The Sandlot.
Star Wars.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, even Conan. God damn it. Turned into a snake, man.
Yeah, there's some voice actors out there though, like him. You know his voice no matter what. He's like a Morgan Freeman or a Christopher Walken. You know,
Mhm.
you hear their voice, you know who it is, and there's not a lot of people like that.
Did you guys, way off topic here and stuff, did you guys see anything about the Death Stranding 2 trailer or any of that stuff?
No,
yet?
I never played the first one either. I
the
kind of
first one.
want to try it.
It's broken down to it's basically like your delivery service in
Yeah.
the game, but it's so weird and out there. I never beat it. I got to a certain point and then stopped playing it, and then I got it on my PC, but I haven't gotten very far.
Also, really like Norman Reedus.
Yeah. It's
Boondock Saints.
Yep.
very unique game. It's a very pretty game. But I guess the second one, the the new guy that's in it, because I don't know if he's in it again. He could be. I don't know how the first one played out. I don't know if he dies at the end or if he gets through it. I'm not sure exactly, but the new character looks a lot like Snake from Metal Gear Solid,
Oh, really?
kind of.
That's
So-
pretty cool. Metal Gear Solid, man. There's a throwback.
Never got into those games. I've just never been big into the like stealth games like
I
that.
was more of a Tenchu guy.
I remember playing Metal Gear on Nintendo Entertainment System, like the regular
Nintendo one. Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know if they made one of those Metal Gear for Super Nintendo, because I don't think I saw it again until like
It was
Xbox
Nintendo,
360.
Super Firecom, and I think PC got a version of those, and then we didn't see anything until PlayStation with Metal Gear Solid.
Xbox 360 is where I saw it again.
The
Did you-
remake. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you play what was the other old one that they don't make anymore? I did end up getting the collector's edition of the Soul Reaver.
Legacy
1
of
and
Kain.
2.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about that stuff. If you're into vampire lore at all, it's pretty cool.
He's like, fuck my soul.
I hear Soul anything, I just instantly go to Soul Calibur.
Hmm.
I loved that series.
Yeah, it was a great.
That
game.
was great. I like when they put Spawn in Soul Calibur.
I actually just re-downloaded that version on that PSP, and it had what was the guy's name from God of War?
Kratos.
Yeah, Kratos is in that version.
I played the shit out of Soul Calibur 2, the one where the GameCube version had Link in it.
Yeah.
Like, played the shit out of that game. Absolutely loved it.
One of the versions had Star Wars, like Yoda and Darth Vader in it. Darth Vader was pretty cool, but Yoda was kind of broken because it was him
Yeah.
jumping the entire
Yeah.
time, and it was really hard to hit.
Because he's so short.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Odd Job and fucking GoldenEye, man. It's just cheating.
Yeah.
Slaps only.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, they are releasing a Nintendo 64 HD.
Yeah, 4K,
And
$250.
I think they announced GoldenEye was going to be one of the titles on it. And that just brings me back to my childhood. I'm so going to snap that up.
Yeah.
That's basically just like a newer, like guys that can afford to spend money on like a newer version that want 4K on those old games. Basically, that's what it is. And I think it's got wireless controllers to it as well.
I have an adapter by 8BitDo that I can plug my Nintendo into, and it hooks it to HDMI. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I there's something about taking the cartridge, obviously fucking blowing it in,
He likes to blow his cartridges.
slapping it in there,
Slap it.
down at the same time really hard, so it makes connection on the pins, and firing that thing up, and sitting on the couch. It's I don't know. That's why I'm going more towards physical copies of games now, because for a while I was like, why do I want that shit taking up room? Give me the digital copy. But then I realized that I kind of missed being able to hold the artwork in my hand
Yup.
Sure.
and look at it.
I think people also get nostalgic and want to collect something too. I'm a big
Yeah.
advocate of it. I mean, I'm still buying records. I mean, I've got like I think 3 records on the way to my house right now
Yeah.
through the mail. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
getting,
couldn't find it locally. So
I'm getting a decent classic video game collection.
That's the big thing too about having physical copies is like if your whole library is on Steam, you technically don't actually own the games. You own a license to play the game on their system, and if they ever go down, it's gone.
Yep.
Whereas if you have a physical copy,
well, a couple
you have
months
a
back,
copy.
PlayStation went down for what was it, 48 hours or something like that. People were losing their fucking minds.
But even if you have the physical copy, you still have to download it to your hard drive most of the time.
Some of the newer stuff.
The
yeah.
newer stuff.
Yep.
So it really doesn't do you any good. But again, I like the idea of having it in my hand, because a lot of shit, even if you own the physical copy, I can't play through a game and then give it to you, and then you take it home and play it, right?
Mhm.
I think a lot of games that they're
A lot of games
specific
have
to
a
a hard
unique
drive.
code that, like it registers to a particular device or whatever.
And there was something people were selling, like counterfeit Wii games that were getting around that, or Switch games, sorry, that were getting around that. But like now, if you buy a secondhand Switch game, you have to be really careful because they'll sell you the bad one. So anyway, I think was there anything else on the?
That was it.
Yeah, I
I
think
went through everything pretty quick today.
Yeah, we did. not to give anything away, I won't name any names, but it does look like we've got some pretty interesting guests lined up for the future. So coming down the pipe, watch for that. And I'm telling you, man, if they're half as fun as Tim was to have on, or I'd like to get back on is Josh.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and see if I can get back on.
They were both awesome.
Mhm.
And we've interviewed this one asshole who plays Magic the Gathering.
Fucking nerd.
He just won't go away now.
So no, we're at that time. So thanks everybody for checking us out, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Spotify, listening to us, Podbean. I'm Vinny.
I'm Nicholas.
I'm Steve.
And you were listening to the No Sense Podcast.